name is Samantha, and I am the CEO of a technology app development firm down in Orange County, California. Right now, our current product is I'm rolling out a series of travel guides for children. And so that is the first market offering, and then we're going to go and tackle the adult travel market next. Walter O'Brien's name in Scorpion Computer Services came to me from a referral through various business colleagues. And it was interesting, I was looking around, looking for some technology help. And I am not somebody that has a degree in technology or has much experience in technology. A lot of my experience came from the consulting world. And so when I was ramping up this organization and looking at getting this product off the ground, I quickly realized that I needed some help. I needed people that were on my side of the fence as I was looking at outsourcing the development of my IT that could really help me guide me through the process. So I started asking around my network, and Scorpion Computer Services came up a few different times in a few different ways. And so I thought, there must be something here if this company keeps popping up on my radar. So I made the call. So as I was going through and recognizing I wanted to develop a mobile solution for these travel guides and hiring Scorpion Computer Services to come aboard, then came really looking at the scope of the project and what is going to be required through that. What was really key about having a Scorpion member come aboard was that I was just about ready to contract with a vendor to have them build my app for me. In having Scorpion come aboard and look at what I was about ready to do, they quickly said, no, stop. This isn't probably not going to be the right technology that you're looking for. It's probably not going to perform as well as you had hoped, and it's going to cost you more money than what it should. So under his guidance and care with this project, I quickly, did not contract with this other vendor and set him to task on finding the right vendor and the right resource to be able to outsource the development of my mobile solution. And he was able to provide a really good resource. And then through the documents gathering process that he managed, was able to clearly articulate what I was looking for to this development group. He also helped to manage the development of the software itself with weekly phone calls and regular touch-base meetings. And he just worked to really guide the process forward. At the end of the day, the really nice thing is that the software was built only 8 days behind schedule. It was 3% above original estimate and 17% below budget. So it was definitely very much what I will call a successful development of this product and getting it out into the market very quickly, despite hiccups and bugs that come into any software development process. Scorpion was fantastic in helping me select a vendor to build my mobile solution. When I was first starting in this process without the help of Scorpion, I had walked through and started to look at various mobile app development companies. I quickly realized it's a lot like the Wild Wild West. There are a ton of mobile app companies out there. So with the help of Scorpion Computer Services, they were easily able to kind of cut through a lot of the noise, a lot of the chatter, really be able to see which firms were reputable, which ones were not, what the going price rate should be for my product development, what was going to be too high, and then also on the other side, if it was too low, what was maybe missing. I had a decision early on that I could code it in HTML5, which is a very popular platform, however, and cheaper, but it wouldn't allow me to really get into the guts of the phone and use some of the functionality that I was wanting to have. So it was decisions like that where the Scorpion resource was really able to help me navigate some of those waters, make some of the business decisions that would really ensure that I had a really good working viable product. So the benefit that Scorpion really provided for me in going through the software development lifecycle was really to educate me on all of the phases of it. So not having a degree in technology or not having a lot of experience in building a technology product before, it was very common. I fell into a common mistake that most people make, which is I had a concept in my head and then I went to go select a vendor. And then I was going to talk with that vendor about what I wanted and just assume that what I had in my head and what I wanted to see as the final product was what was going to be in theirs. That's not always the case. So where Scorpion Computer Services was really helpful, and my outsourced CTO with Scorpion came in, is he educated me on the software development lifecycle. He allowed me to see through these process steps where I was jumping from phase 1 over to phase 5. And what I may or may not get from the vendor that I was going to select may or may not be what I wanted. So with Scorpion's help, I was able to pause, take a step back, do the requirements gathering first. The team at Scorpion made it very easy. It flowed really well. Then within a couple weeks, I had the beginnings of this requirements document, and which I affectionately call the blueprint for my product. And with that blueprint in hand, then we went out to source the vendor. And so it was really nice to know that what was in my head was going to be clearly communicated to my vendor, and that that was then going to be built. And that I wasn't leaving it up for chance. I wasn't leaving it to what the vendor had in his head as far as what he wanted to see, because at the end of the day, it's not his product. So, so that's where Scorpion helped me, and that's where the requirements gathering up front is definitely a very key step. When I was looking at outsourcing my CTO function and looking at hiring vendors, I chose Scorpion Computer Services over other groups for a few different reasons. The first one was their name kept popping up when I was looking around and asking my network for some referrals. So I thought, okay, this company must have a pretty good reputation and be fairly well known if it keeps coming up consistently from different circles and different groups. So that was the first one. The second one was I talked with some of the members of Scorpion Computer Services and my selection process with them, and they really set themselves apart because they were looking at the technology as a business. They were talking about not just how to build a superior product and get it to market, but how are you going to market it? How does this technology fit into your larger business plan? How are you going to make money off of this technology product? How are you going to enhance it over time, change it over time? All of those questions other vendors were not asking. And then the final thing was that, I'm trying to figure out a way to say this without sounding hokey, but I really got the feeling that the folks at Scorpion Computer Services had a vested interest in seeing my company succeed and really wanting it to thrive. So I had a little bit of trepidation in the beginning about working with a remote resource. My particular CTO is about 60 miles away from my offices. Luckily, it's close enough that if something happened, I could bring that person in and I could have them work there every single day. However, I never really saw the need. I mean, with modern technology these days, having a virtual team worked out just fine. And he never made me feel like I was ever on an island or far away. And so that's what I really liked about Scorpion, was that they could offer this part-time resource. And I would have absolutely no compunction about hiring part-time executive staff like that again for those particular needs. The things that I like about the Scorpion model is that they bring in the right person for the job at that particular phase of the work. So, for example, my CTO was not in charge of the requirements gathering process because that wasn't going to be the best use of his particular, that wasn't going to be the best use of his time. So what they do is they augment different staff members to come in and help based on where you are in the software development lifecycle. So with that, I had an opportunity to work with 4 or 5 different members of Scorpion Computer Services. And overall, I've got to say I was really impressed because before this particular company, I worked in human resources consulting. And as part of that, I have a lot of experience in hiring and firing. And I also have a lot of experience in being able to see who are good, strong, competent people and who really aren't. And so one of the things I was really impressed about Scorpion is that they've done a really good job of bringing aboard really strong employees, really strong resources that can go out, hit the ground running, and get up to speed. One of the things that I was really impressed about with Scorpion is their ability to very quickly grasp my vision, my company mottos, my company drive, where I wanted my product to go, how I wanted to get it into the market, and where I was in the particular development of my product, and hit the ground running. I mean, they required very little ramp-up time. They required very little time to get up to speed quickly on where I was with my project, and they were able to come in and just start delivering for me. So it was really impressive for me to see that, and to see that they were just that fast and that efficient. So one of the things I really enjoyed about working with Scorpion was that they were great at being able to adhere to timelines, budgets, and different commitments. So when you're working with any kind of outsourced group, it's a little bit tricky because you have to recognize that you're not their only client. I would love to think that I am, but you know, that's just not realistic. And but one of the cool things about Scorpion was they did actually make me feel like I was their only client. They were incredibly responsive to me. They were able to return phone calls and emails quickly. They were able to resolve issues really fast. They were also very clear on budgeting, how many hours we're working for a particular phase of the project. They were also really great at telling me up front, this is how much something is going to cost. This is how long it's anticipated to take. And then if they, for some reason, couldn't meet that deadline, they would tell me well in advance, and then we'd be able to course correct. 9 times out of 10, though, they came in either under budget and under time than other firms probably would have. And so that's what I liked about working with them. And they were very conscious of the fact that this was an initiative for me that I wanted to get done quickly, and they worked hard to make that happen. So as far as recommendations for other people that are taking on building a technology company or building a technology product, especially in the mobile space, my words of wisdom or my recommendations to them would be this. Number 1, get the right people on your team. And that's where Scorpion Computer Services was really key for me, is, you know, Jim Collins in Good to Great talks about getting the right people on the bus. So they were the right people on my bus. And then also listen to what they say. There were a lot of times that I wanted to push back with Scorpion, tell them that they were wrong, that they didn't know what they were talking about, that I had it all handled. But luckily, I resisted that urge. And it's difficult. It's difficult when somebody is coming to you saying, you need to spend more money, you need to spend more time, there's going to be delays in getting your product out the door because we're going to do requirements gathering first. I didn't want to hear that stuff, you know? I didn't. But at the same time, I swallowed the urge to say no to Scorpion and listened to them and trusted them. And it really helped me a lot. Because yes, by taking the extra time to do the requirements gathering, by taking the extra time to go through the software development lifecycle process step by step, it allowed me the opportunity to have a really good working product that is now in the market and gaining success. So my recommendation for other people in this space is this. It is a tough space to be in, and there are a lot of fairly unscrupulous players in the market. There's also a lot of players in the market that just flat don't know what they're doing. So they may have the best of intentions, but they don't know the ropes. So with Scorpion Computer Services, they know the ropes, they're good quality people, and they're really helpful. So listen. That's my best recommendation, to listen.